Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. This video, I'm going to go over Apple Business Connect and why you should not ignore it for your local SEO strategy. So if you want to learn more about me, you can pause the video. I'm just going to continue. This is the main analytics dashboard. So I've redacted my client's name, but the way to look at this is that over the 12 months over here, 1,000 plus taps on their location in the search results. 71% is for their brand search name or brand, but the other 15% plus is coming from things like category search and also non-brand keyword search. So category search, for example, for TM Blast would be like marketing agency. If you search for that within Apple Maps, you might find TM Blast. For my client, category search is a big part of being discovered, along also with non-brand keywords as well. If you go further in it, so if you actually look into kind of where these interactions take place, you can see that the data breaks down like this. 625 are direction clicks, so that defaults to Apple Maps. 269 look at photos, which is really not that important. If you're more of like a restaurant, actually, it might be more important for you, but for my client, not so much. Phone calls, though, for them, 188 over the 12 months is actually less than 12 months. It just wasn't recording the data. But the point, though, is that that's actually a pretty healthy amount of leads that my client gets that come from Apple specific searches. And then 134 clicks go directly to the website. So what you can do is you can click into any of the cards here in Apple Business Connect. So I clicked into the call, for example. You can see that in April 2024, they had their most phone calls ever. So you can see it's not a full 12 months, but for the months we've been able to track, um, we've been seeing a lot of phone call activity really just from having the presence there on Apple Maps. Same thing also with website clicks. So you can see from a 12-month standpoint, 134 clicks. One thing is that you can't add UTM tracking to any link within Apple Business Connect. There are some workarounds that I've seen online. I don't do this personally, but because the amount is so little for website clicks. But what you can do is you can have a dedicated page, like a home page that's Apple specific. You can then no index it so it doesn't compete then against your actual website. So the only way that people can get to this page is if they click on the Apple Business listing. So if you use Google Analytics 4 or another platform, you can have a pretty good idea about exactly, what users come from Apple and then do they perform an action like fill out a form or click on a clickable phone icon to call or anything else you want to track, emails, anything. Heat map of activity. So I like looking at this too. So again, so I've redacted their name. They're out in New York City, but the point though is that I use this heat map as another justification when we're looking at Google My Business, also Bing Places for Business, and then if we wanted to do anything further with it, like like Google Ads or Bing Ads, you can start to target a specific zip code. So what you can do is you can then flip the grid from map to list. You can see the zip codes of who's tapping on your card. Um, and as I mentioned before, again, you can do more specific micro targeting with like Google Ads and Bing Ads as specifically. So instead of just targeting, let's say, a 5 mile radius or 4 mile radius in, the heart of Manhattan, you can get to specific zip codes there. And there's all different parts and boroughs of New York City. So if you are a local client, it'll actually be pretty beneficial. So here's some things that I recommend. So number one, if you want to get more phone calls to your business, more leads, simply get an Apple Business Connect profile. So if you don't find it, so basically if you use your phone and nothing comes up for, you go to Apple Maps and nothing comes up for your business, go to Apple Business Connect, claim your listing. It takes a few weeks to then claim it. They need some business verification proof like a lease or anything else like that to verify that you have this address. But once you get there, you want to then add relevant categories. So for me, it's advertising agency. There's nothing specific for SEO, so I have to do like marketing agency, advertising agency, etc. But for your business, it would be whatever the most accurate category is. That's going to really help with non-brand keywords. You want to make clickable actions, so directions, calls, website services, and more. If you're a restaurant, you can actually even have some more things like view the menu and other things, book a reservation. But for any local, just make sure you have as many clickable elements. It's going to make your card more attractive, as you can see with my client that I've redacted. Website clicks, directions, phone calls, photos, they're all being clicked on. Make photos stand out. So I use one of myself actually on there. So I have both the cover photo, but then also the photo from the business owner. I like to show that because for me, it's a business run by myself. Add a description. So the description is a ranking factor. It's not as big as the category or even just your name, but the description is a ranking factor, so include the relevant keywords, towns and cities and zip codes you service nearby. And then one thing that's actually unique with Apple Business is that you can showcase a special offer. So what I also recommend is that if you're new into Apple Business and you're trying to say, well, what is the value of us getting on this platform? You might want to create a standalone Apple Business specific landing page, again, set it to no index, and then offer, hey, first time users or first time customers or first time whatever, you get like a special discount, and you can send the traffic specifically to that page. You can then kind of measure how many people then saw that offer from Apple who then came to your site. And of course, you have another sale too, like a 10% off site wide. You can, of course, send them to that page. But if you want to have like a specific Apple deal, that might be fun to kind of, see what that does for your business. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful and interesting. The main thing I want to really stress is that Google My Business is obviously going to be the lion's share of your phone calls and website clicks, but definitely don't ignore Apple Business. It's just a great way to add a little bit more leads per month and website visits from local residents looking for your service. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. And as always, have a good rest of your day.